Hollywood legend Brooke Shields has spoken out about her horrendous encounter on stage with Meghan Markle at the South by Southwest festival, and it's clear that the two divas didn't get on at all. Angela Levin, our royal mastermind, here with this. We're going to show you what Brooke Shields had to say in just one moment. But Angela, this is fascinating, isn't it? Because Brooke Shields, a total legend, and she makes it so clear that she just couldn't put up with Meghan's nonsense. Now, Angela, I'm sure a lot of A-listers have felt this in the past, but don't you find it fascinating that Brooke Shields is going on the record, is prepared to now say this? It feels like a bit of a tipping point. Do you agree?
Yes, absolutely. Because she could, that happened a year ago. She could have done it then, but obviously she's sort of burst open now to say what she wanted to say for the whole year. And actually to be honest about it, tell her, will you shut up? You're talking a load of rubbish. And I think that it's good of her. You know, she didn't want people sitting there listening to her for 45 minutes, she said, too boring for words. And she just said how awful it is that she's talking about when she was 11, when she talked about women, not all women should wash up. Remember that? She
Yes.
claimed that she sent a
Yes.
letter off. But in fact, the truth was that it was a class thing that they did, not just her, and
Totally.
that her father suggested
Totally.
it.
Totally.
And it
Exactly.
was
So
about
that whole story is questionable anyway. But I think, Angela, what is really, really interesting is that there was also an encounter off stage. And Brooke Shields, in this interview with India Hicks on her Substack, An Unexpected Journey, makes it clear that Ms. Markle, the fake Duchess, she wasn't happy with being challenged. So why don't we take a watch at what Brooke Shields says, and we'll discuss more on the back, Angela.
God, did I tell you?
No.
Oh God, I don't know if you'll have to cut this out, but you might. I don't know. You'll decide later, okay?
This is the best bit of all.
This is the best bit of all. So, I don't know if I'm going to get hated, but I get a call from Katie Couric, and she's doing South by Southwest. Big, big, big. They're closing the middle arena. We're closing it out. We're the only one. It's thousands of people. It's Katie Couric, Meghan Markle, and a doctor. And Katie asks me to be a part of it. So I was like, oh, okay, all right. You know what? Just do it. Just go talk about what you need to. We get there. Katie asks the first question to Meghan and talks about how, at a young age, she was already advocating for women, et cetera. So she starts talking and telling a story about how when she was 11, and she keeps saying, well, when I was 11, I saw this commercial and they were talking about washing dishes, and only soap for washing dishes was for women. And she said, I didn't think only women wash dishes. It wasn't fair. So I wrote to the company. And when I was 11, I wrote my first letter, and then I was 11. And she kept saying she was 11. So she writes to the company. They changed the text. They changed the commercial. And I go, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Guys, just interrupt you there for 1 minute. I was trying not to be rude, but I wanted to be funny because it was so serious. And I just want to give everybody here a context as to how we're different. I said, well, when I was 11, I was playing a prostitute. The place went insane. And then luckily, it was more relaxed after that. And I was like, oh, I hope she doesn't think I'm rude. I'm not being rude. I was just sort of.
I think it's genius.
It was just too precious. And I was like, they're not going to want to sit here for 45 minutes and listen to anybody be precious, or serious, or
definitely not on this podcast. There's no pressure.
Well, no, but this was in front of. I mean, it was crazy. And then afterwards, she was kind of like, oh, okay. And I was like, let's just have some fun with it, know. But it was.
But Katie must have been brilliant because she's a wonderful moderator between the two of you.
She's so great. I mean, she does it in her sleep. I think she's.
Wow, Angela, I love Brooke Shields more than I've ever loved her after that moment, because just so much honesty, and it's the type of honesty that celebrities have not been prepared to express about Meghan Markle before. But Meghan Markle's going to be fuming about this one.
Yes. she will be hopping mad.
Yeah.
But
Because Brooke Shields a
actually,
massive star, Angela. I mean, come on, this is like a
yes.
household name all around the world.
Yes, but she was quite right. I mean, it is very funny that a woman who's had so much and is now 40, nearly 44, actually keeps on going back to when I was 11, when I was 11, when I was 11, as if this is the most important part of her life. What nonsense is that? You know, it's complete rubbish. And she couldn't take it, so she told her off, shut up. You know, who cares what you're doing when you're 11? I was doing much more interesting things when I was 11. And, you know, so shut up. This is supposed to be fun. They're supposed to enjoy it. You know, who the hell do you think you are? It's a big one, isn't it?
It's a really big one, Angela, because here's the thing. There was the possibility that that interaction could have taken place on stage. And if Ms. Meghan was the sort of kind, lovely, gentle, funny person that she makes herself out to be, well, her reaction to Brooke Shields after that moment would surely have been, oh no, it was brilliant. You made everyone laugh. It was brilliant, Brooke Shields. Thank you so much for bringing some levity to the event. Thank you. I don't for a single second think you did anything wrong. But it was so clear that that wasn't her reaction, Angela.
No, she was going to just smash her up, and that was it, wasn't she? She had enough of it. She didn't want that. She didn't, you know, she wanted it to be more light-hearted. She's a strong woman. It'd be very interesting what happens to the Sussex group who don't like that at all. It would be very interesting to hear about that. But I wonder if they've got the courage to say, "How dare you?" But I hope they don't have the courage. But she's quite right. I mean, it was just the right thing to do at some point. And I'm sorry that she didn't do it earlier. But the thing about Meghan is that when someone said something about her or really criticised her, and this is one especially about being 11, she then waits to find a way to get her own back. That's what she's done, hasn't she, with her father, with the royal family, with any friend. So we shall have to wait and see what happens. But it's very good that Brooke Shields actually done it and done what a lot of people have wanted to do but haven't dared to, because she's very spiteful.
Absolutely. And I think the thing is, Brooke Shields is one of those people, she's had a huge career. She's pretty beloved overall. And I don't really think she needs anything from Meghan Markle. And I certainly don't think she needs to fear Meghan Markle in any way either. So I absolutely loved it. Now, Angela, you are, of course, Prince Harry's biographer. You spent all of that time with him and you wrote this seminal book on Prince Harry. But I feel like he's hit a new low this week, Angela. And I mean, that's a surprising thing to say.
The spotlight on Meghan Markle has once again turned fiery, this time thanks to a surprising onstage moment with Hollywood A-lister Brooke Shields. The exchange, according to royal biographer Angela Levin, was nothing short of tense, and it has quickly spiraled into a PR headache for the Duchess. Reports suggest that during a high-profile public appearance, Brooke Shields tried to engage Meghan in meaningful conversation, possibly even challenge her on a point. But instead of an open dialogue, Meghan allegedly brushed it off,
given that there have been so many lows in recent years. But this is after the story in the Mail on Sunday at the weekend. Prince Harry sought advice from Princess Diana's brother, asking if he should change his family name to Spencer. Now, obviously, Angela, my point of view on this is like, just do it. It would actually be the greatest thing that could ever happen to the royal family, because it wouldn't put King Charles or Prince William in that really difficult position where they would have to go to Parliament and try and strip the titles and everything, because they could say, well, look, this is a choice Harry has now made. But what did you make of this story? And are you shocked by the depths that he's now plumbing to sort of get attention, to hurt his dad, and to almost like provide the ultimate insult to the royal family?
Yes, I actually feel that he's thought, perhaps with the help of Meghan, to find something that would really will wipe them out and make them so unhappy because they've lost they've tried so hard to be rude and nasty, but it's just gone smoothly because nobody's answering her, but this or him. But this time I thought it was absolutely hideous that you could take away your father's name, Mountbatten Windsor, and actually want to go on the other side of the family and take Diana's name, Spencer. What's interesting is Earl Charles Spencer said to him, look, you shouldn't really do that. You really shouldn't. Now, he is not a great pal of King Charles. It doesn't like him. He doesn't like any of the royal family much. As he said, he was going to look after the children rather than let the family do it. But if he can say that about him, you can realize how shocking and disgusting it is. And it will wound the king and wound William very much, I think, if he tries to go along with this. Again, it's a sort of long drawn out thing to do in court. So, it'd be back for him to go to the court. But it is so revolting. And I wondered as well whether Meghan didn't stop him. And I thought to myself, well, there must be something there. And then I realised that a little one, that Lilibet, her second name is Diana. And if they all change their name to Spencer, then her daughter would be Diana Spencer, which actually somehow is very unpleasant. And that she's been equally, perhaps, cunning and spiteful to get this done because she thinks that's great. She would have a title. She wouldn't have the title she's got now. But actually, you're really cutting yourself off from such an amazing family that is what is loved by people all around the world. We even saw in Canada how popular the king and the queen were, and that he wants to smash it and she wants to smash it. And despite the fact that he's ill with cancer, it doesn't matter at all. Now, you would think that somebody who was actually saying to his father, through the lens of a BBC, I really want to calm, I want to make friends again, I want to be everything else again. If you take away the other horribleness he said, that was phony, because you don't then say a few weeks later, I want to change my name because I want absolutely nothing to do with you. So there we have a king who's really doing his best and he's trying to keep going. I mean, he actually has had cancer since January a year ago. So it's a long time. And he's not taking that into account. It's taking that into account to be spiteful and nasty. And I'm sorry, because when I was with him, he was a nice guy. And now, actually, I think it's absolutely hideous thing to do. If you don't like your parents, go away, leave them. You don't have to have that,
Stop trying to
keeping
destroy
on
them.
and on.
Exactly.
This is beyond
and
anything.
now with the leak of this story, which is designed to just cause more hurt and more pain. I am interested, Angela, in your view, though, about how Meghan Markle really feels about this. Because, of course, in With Love, Meghan, she made this huge deal and she really took down Mindy Kaling, didn't she, for referring to her as Markle, and claimed publicly that she has now embraced this last name of Sussex.
Knows that Meghan Markle has eaten Jack in the Box and loves it.
It's so funny, too, that you keep saying Meghan Markle. I'm Sussex now. You have kids and you go, no, I share my name with my children.
Yes.
And that feels so, I didn't know how meaningful it would be to me, but it just means so much to go, this is our family name.
So where do you think Meghan stands on this, Angela? Would she have wanted to be Meghan Spencer?
Well, I mean, Harry would never do anything unless he's allowed to by Meghan.
That's the thing.
So I
So she
imagine
must
that
have
she
been.
does. But, don't forget that a lot of times, not so much lately, but she always feels that Diana's talking to her. She's been on the ground where near where Diana's been buried, and says she could feel her telling her what to do. Harry also thinks that
Oh, at Althorpe, yeah.
she would jump up and down if Meghan and he married. So if her surname was Spencer, she would feel that she's more of a relation to the late Diana Spencer, and she would look like that, and how pleased she would be that her little girl had that name. So I think that there's something there that she wouldn't mind, because she would still be some sort of Duchess. I don't know quite what the name would be.
Exactly, because this is the thing, Angela. I was thinking about this. Princess Diana, and this is why actually I think it's so disgusting. Princess Diana, after her divorce, never reverted to Spencer. It was agreed with the British royal family that she would be known as Diana, the Princess of Wales. She wasn't able to use her HRH titles, and of course that did cause a lot of controversy, but she remained a princess. She never wanted to become Diana Spencer. And remember, that was after her divorce, Angela, from the family. So I think any idea that Harry has that this is what Diana would have wanted is for the birds.
No, she would have been absolutely furious with him, because she loved the monarchy, and she used to go and see them when she was a little girl, and every weekend, and play and have tea,
giving off the vibe that she simply didn't want to listen. This cold reaction didn't go unnoticed, and in celebrity circles, word travels fast. Angela Levin wasted no time in weighing in, calling the moment a clear example of Meghan's unwillingness to accept views outside her own carefully curated narrative. Levin suggested that this behavior is part of a larger pattern, a refusal to genuinely connect unless the conversation plays directly into Meghan's image. For Brooke Shields, a veteran of Hollywood who's no stranger to media storms, the moment might have been brushed off. But for Meghan, the optics are damaging.
With the Queen and all of them, and she loved them, and she was very well behaved towards them. She didn't work happily ever after, but that was for different reasons. But I think that Harry's doing that just really to hurt his father and his brother, because he's not going anywhere. They're not speaking to him. They're not answering him. He's not being successful in making them very unhappy. But I think that William and King Charles are not actually following him closely like, say, you and I might do, because they want to keep away from it so that they don't feel terribly upset. But this is such a bang, it's just a bomb. It's just too terrible for someone to do that when you know it would cause absolute pain. And I hope that if he tries to do it, then it doesn't work. I just feel it's beyond anything, you know. I haven't actually come across anyone who would be so spiteful and unkind, particularly when the key person is unwell.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, I just thought it was awful. I thought it was so awful. Also awful this week, Angela, was Meghan Markle's bid to push back, I guess, against the claims that everything's going wrong with Netflix and everything's going wrong with As Ever. But the clip that she released in order to try and convince us, well, I mean, I found it very unconvincing. Watch this.
Pineapple, instead of just cutting it to make the perfect little bite, you follow the wedge. When nature has given you all the cues on how to have a perfect taste of something.
Oh, how fun is that? I love it. Easy. All right, is it gonna work? Am I good? It's great.
I mean, are we meant to think this is what we're missing out on, Angela? As people all across the internet have pointed out, like, most people have known that's a thing for a long time. And if that was the best sort of thing on the cutting room floor, then goodness me, gracious me.
Yes,
it wasn't
some of them
convincing, Angela.
Yes, some of them have said, "Are we going to show how we can open a banana next?"
Yeah, peel a banana, exactly. Well, probably that will be next.
Yes, but when she does this with a lot of words and nonsense, you think, don't be silly, that's not making any food for people. That's not actually doing anything. You're just showing a pineapple, which anyone can deal with without even blinking. This is part of the factor that she wants to do things, but she won't study things to that they would really make a difference and people would be astonished, and amazed by something. She just does something that is for people who know almost nothing.
It's like a last ditch bid, isn't it, to show to the world this is all okay. But then the reality is, Angela, that Netflix had their big event to doom in the US this week, and she didn't feature at all. And that's like the big event to doom in Los Angeles. It's where Meghan's from. It's a fan event. It's for Americans. They put out the trailers of the new shows. So even if Netflix are going to stand by Meghan Markle and complete backing this ludicrous business, what seems very obvious is that they're not proud of it, Angela. They're not proud of their association with this woman.
Yeah, but if we look back even a few weeks, we can see that a lot of, top class people backing off. Nobody wants to invite her to whether it's a concert or it's a party or whatever's going on. Everyone is getting back because they don't want, stepping back because they don't want to feel that they are close to her. So, she had a lot of trouble finding people to talk with her podcast. People just don't want it. It's fascinating, isn't it? Because at one point, there could have been so many people who wanted to be with her. She was the person that you wanted to talk to and stand with and everything else. And now she's almost the last person that anybody wants to be with because they'll feel actually they're a bit dirty from it, that it's made them just unpleasant as well. And actually, if you do get close to her, she's going to drop you when she doesn't need you anymore. So it's actually not a very good way of trying to make friends or make goods or soup or tea or anything else. People want to keep away. Absolutely. They think that it might be unclean to get too close to her. And I think and she doesn't realize it yet because she thinks if she keeps on going talking about herself and how she's tired because she's so working so hard and she's crying because it's so stressful. Well, don't do it, mate. She doesn't have to do all these different things. She can just have a quieter life, not spend so much money, but just enjoy yourself. It's a wonderful place she's in, and she could just relax, but she's got to keep on nagging at herself to be number one, and that she's making her cry and be unhappy. Well, she's not there because she has to be.
And then, Angela, we learn that she's now offered Brooklyn Beckham and Nicola Peltz so much advice that they have now signed up with her lawyer, Jenny Afia, who works for Shillings, a big London law firm, and appeared in that documentary, The Princes and the Press, which I also appeared in, and she very unconvincingly tried to tell the world that Meghan Markle wasn't a bully. And it's just like, oh my goodness, how stupid are Brooklyn and Nicola taking her advice?
Yeah, what I think is that it's ridiculous. What have they done? What have his parents done that you want to get a lawyer and perhaps put them in prison or perhaps make them pay money for saying something wrong? I mean, that is ridiculous. I don't know what his parents, Sparkles. I don't know what has been said to them that is very unpleasant. Perhaps they've interfered with their wedding and their marriage. Perhaps they've don't like her. But actually, it is not a nice thing to try and get a lawyer. I mean, why? I can't understand it.
No. Very, very
What do you
insane.
think? Why do you
I think they're
they...
insane. To be honest, I think they're insane listening to Harry and Meghan and taking Harry and Meghan's advice as to how to deal with a public backlash over a family fallout. I mean, what I would do, Angela, is I'd listen to Harry and Meghan and I would do the complete opposite. And I certainly wouldn't sign up any of their staff. Now, in terms of the situation with the Beckhams, well, I have my two sides to this, because I don't think David and Victoria Beckham are completely innocent in all of this. And People magazine revealed this week that shocking story about the night of Nicola Peltz's wedding, where Mark Antony came up on stage and said, oh, this song is dedicated to the most beautiful woman in the world. And it wasn't the bride. He was talking about Victoria Beckham. And I think that is very bad form. So it's not that I give the Beckhams a total pass on all of this, but I think Nicola Peltz and Brooklyn Beckham, I repeat, must be the most stupid celebrities in the world to think that allying themselves, taking advice from Harry and Meghan, signing up Harry and Meghan's staff is a good idea, because let me tell you, it's a catastrophe. It's a total catastrophe. And if Harry and Meghan think they're getting some type of revenge on David and Victoria Beckham, I think it just shows how scummy their behaviour often can be. But Angela Levin, thank you so much.
In a world where public perception can make or break influence, being seen as dismissive, especially toward another respected woman, feeds into an already persistent narrative of arrogance and self-importance. The fallout from this clash is already rippling through media commentary. Critics say Meghan's my way or nothing approach not only alienates peers but also reinforces the growing belief that she's out of touch with reality. For a woman who once built her brand on relatability and humanitarian values, moments like this make it harder and harder to sell that image.